Hello everybody, welcome along. It is time for Season 15 of One Hub Racing. The Precision tier is getting underway in a few moments' time. I'm your commentator Owen Wyatt, and back with me, we're the Dream Team. Big Man Austin. Hey, we're back!
This is the first time someone's called me a big man. How you doing, Owen?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't wait for this race. It's going to be a fantastic start to the season. And much better than Australia. I'm glad we're not going there first. Bahrain, much better track. And yeah, I just can't wait to see how these guys will get on.
Yeah, that's going to be the most interesting thing here. Bahrain is a track that does promote, at least on this game. In reality, we have seen some dull races around this track, but on F1 2019, it promotes really close racing. You have the 3 consecutive straights. You know, the one in the final sector, the start-finish straight, and then the second 1, 2, 3. And plenty of overtaking opportunities there, and otherwise, I mean, into turn 11, if you look at that, into maybe, if you dare, into turn 8. And it's just a fun track overall, and we have a whole new assembly of drivers, really. We have some that have been part of the Precision tier last season, including both Ferraris, Luki and Chris, returning with the very same team they finished last season under. TB, Scorpion, Vitinho, King Jorit, and Cam are the ones who return to the same tier for this season. But everyone else, well, they've either been in some other tiers, promoted or demoted, or 5 drivers are completely new to One Hub.
Indeed. I'm very much looking forward to see how they all get on, but I think before we get started we should probably have a look at that grid and see just where everyone's at. And so we'll just go in the order that One Hub have given us, because it is a weird order, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. So, first driver on the list, and you know what, I think he's been saying quite a lot how confident he is for this season. Dainstar. He's come down from the Pinnacle tier into Red Bull this season, and he has already looked super strong.
It's not just him who's been confident in him. I asked some of the drivers before tonight, or well, I did ask them tonight, but earlier on, who they think is the favorite, and one name that was pretty much named by everyone is Dainstar. He is certainly one to look out for. He, among all these drivers, has the most wins in One Hub. No one on this grid of 20 has more wins in their One Hub career than him. He's won 10 races, 18 times on the podium. He's not the best in that regard, but 10 wins. So whenever you do see him on the podium, there's a good chance he's on the top step of it.
Yes, and so he looks pretty confident. I'm slightly hoping it's not as dominant as White Fountain last season, but it certainly feels like that Red Bull in this tier is just the car you need to be in, as it turns out. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. His teammate for this season, a new driver, LR Harry, and interesting to see how he gets on. Of course, he'll be happy, I guess, to have Dainstar as a teammate. That'll be propelling them forward in the Constructors' Championship, and we'll see just how good Harry is himself.
Indeed, for Harry, this is going to be a bit of new territory, I think, and it's going to be interesting. He could fill the same role that Simon, if you remember, filled last season, you know, being the wingman, if you will, to Dainstar, who just absolutely dominates and making sure that Red Bull repeat as Constructors' Champions, but he would need to score pretty consecutive or pretty consistent points this season. Always be around the top 6 to 8 to get some good points finishes there, and then maybe towards the end of the season he gets into a little bit of a rhythm like Simon did, maybe get some podiums, maybe even a win or two, and then I think Red Bull would be unstoppable. But that is going to be the question. I think it's really more about, can Harry get the results that Red Bull and the team of the standing of Red Bull expect from him?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But moving on to the next team. Now, this is a team we're all very familiar with in the Precision tier. The Ferrari team has stayed exactly the same as last season, with Luki and Chris at the helm. Now, they didn't quite get the Constructors last season. It all sort of fell off towards the end for them, but they've got to be looking strong as well this season.
Yeah, it needs to be said, both drivers have won a Drivers' Championship before in One Hub. Lukey last season was the runner-up. Chris has also won a Constructors' Championship before, so both of these have seen their fair share of goldware, and I wouldn't be surprised. They are by far the #1 team if you combine both drivers' career podiums in one hub. 57. I'm just going to say that number again. 57. No other team in this tier has more than 20. And they're sitting almost at 3 times that number. So expect them to, as a team, dominate. But out of these 7 podiums, and that's going to be their issue, only 12 have been wins. And that's where you're going to have to question, can one of these, Lukey or Chris, make the step up, get more wins, and really get those 25 points consistently?
Yeah, they'll need to be certainly more consistent with how they handle defending and overtaking as well. We saw that was maybe the biggest flaw with them last season, but we'll see how they get on this season. And next team up, as we get going by the way, is going to be Mercedes. And now they've got a driver coming up from podium tier. That says ART Ivan? Something like that. And then with him...
I think it's Ivan.
Ivan, yeah, something like that. I'm sure I'll say it wrong many times, but we'll get there. And with him, he's also got another familiar driver from the Precision tier last season, TB. And I fancy their chances as well. They all look pretty decent.
I mean, all these drivers, making it into Precision tier in the first place, yeah, pretty good, I'm going to say. But Ivan, he finished in 8th place in the podium tier last season. 126 points, got 2 wins, 4 podiums. Driver of the day twice, so he got good enough results to show for. But yeah, it's a step up to go from podium to Precision. Maybe even 2 steps up, considering that we went down from 4 tiers to 3, and this is now effectively the 2nd tier. But we'll see. And with TB, yeah, TB last season, P9, so pretty much similar story there. 80 points, so a little bit less. Hold on, is that a 60? It's too small. No, it's 80. There you go. I read that right. But no wins, no podiums, no driver of the day, but consistent points. And really, if we're looking at Mercedes, consistent points isn't good enough. So they would have to, I would say, both step up. Ivan a bit less, with 2 wins for podiums. But TP, yeah, it's going to have to be a little bit more from him.
Yeah, we saw flashes of brilliance from TB last season, but as you say, just a little bit more of that, and they could be challenging as well. Next team up, we've got McLaren, and they're keeping one of their drivers from last season. Of course, Scorpion moved down from Red Bull in the early stages last season, and he has stayed in the McLaren for this season. He's being joined by EVR Sam. I've seen Sam a few times. I know he's a decent enough driver, and he's come up on the podium tier, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he gets on. Well, the whole team in general.
Yeah, Scorpion, as soon as he moved down to McLaren from Red Bull, you could tell that he finally found his rhythm. Red Bull was a little bit too much, a little bit too high expectations for him, and he didn't really feel too good there. But as soon as he came to McLaren, something clicked, and I'm pretty sure he's looking to preserve that kind of energy, that kind of feel. And look, what better team to do that at than where it all started, where the good run really all started. And for hold on a second here, for Sam, let me see, finished P11, was in the Red Bull, and for Red Bull in the podium tier, that was quite a shocking performance. 1 driver of the day, no podium. So good on him for making it into the Precision tier, but I'm not surprised that he's not in a top team. But again, it could be that both of these have been driving for Red Bull before. They find themselves at McLaren now. Hey, maybe this is a winning combo right there.
Could be, could be. So we'll be interested to see how they all get on. You can see Scorpion there just starting a lap, but we'll actually go and watch Jano, member of the next team we're talking about, Toro Rosso. Now, Jano's actually come down from the Pinnacle tier, the one-time race winner, and he'll be joined by a brand new driver in Crimson. And so this will be a fascinating lineup. One who's been in a top tier before, and another one coming in brand new. This could be quite interesting to see how this all pans out for these guys.
Yeah, Janu only joined the Pinnacle tier mid-season last season and got a win, a driver of the day, 75 points in total. For someone who joined midway through, pretty good result, especially in an Alfa Romeo. With Toro Rosso now, again, not that many expectations, and the thing about Janul is he has been mentioned by a couple of drivers I talked to earlier today as one of the favorites for the Drivers' Championship. So that Toro Rosso might be looking very, very juicy. In fact, Toro Rosso have also been named team favorites by some drivers, together with Red Bull and Ferrari. Maybe because of Janul, but yeah, interesting to see what Crimson can do to help that cause.
Yeah, certainly will be quite interesting to see how they'll go on. But as Janel comes to line, he will set the first lap of the day. Just in case anyone's wondering why we're on soft, we'll get to this in a moment. But two-stop strategy is mandatory for this season, and so it'll sort of negate all these one-shot qualifyings we'll get, and it'll actually mean we can have proper qualifying for once. And you have no idea how happy that makes me. But yeah,
gotta agree with you there.
It's a lovely thing to see come back from season 13, where it was first tried. And yeah, we'll see all these fast laps come through. So just in case you're wondering why we're on soft, we'll go more in depth later on, but we've still got half a grid to look at. And so we'll go next up and see the Renault F1 team, with Vitinho staying in that team from last season. He moved about quite a bit, I think, last season, Vitinho, but he's found his place at Renault. Was starting to pick up at the end of last season. And with him, a new driver again in Carsbury. Hope I'm saying that right. Carsbury? Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, you did that right. You did that well. Vitinho, yeah, I think similar story with Vitinho as it was with Scorpion. They get demoted, they find their team, they find their rhythm, it clicks, and Vitinho did the same thing pretty much. He had 3 podiums last season, 2 Driver of the Day awards. Didn't get a win, but overall really good results as soon as he found himself in that Renault. And Carsbury is an interesting one because he is new, but he's also been named by at least 2 drivers that I talked to as another favorite. Which he must have some kind of league racing experience somewhere else that you know, nominates him for that kind of I don't even know what to say. I was a bit surprised at seeing his name mentioned a couple of times, but maybe Carsbury in his first season here at One Hub can leave a lasting impression.
Well, he's went second with his first time in qualifying. It is a strong start for him, so we'll see if he can keep that all up. Next team, we've got Racing Point, and we've got a driver who's come down from the Pinnacle tier last season in Tenmuji, or just Cloudy. We all know him as Cloudy, and apologies if I do call him as Cloudy. He's just got a really weird username. So he's come down from Pinnacle last season, and with him, another driver returning from last season, King J, or Jorit, as we all know him. And yeah, Jorit, he showed so much potential many times last season, and just could never string it all together. Maybe he'll do a bit better this season. And of course, a driver coming down from Pinnacle tier, Racing Point could be looking pretty strong as well.
Well, yeah, Jorit, he's been on the podium 5 times last season, driver of the day 4 times, and I think that tells you part of the story. He had really good races, but his qualifying oftentimes was quite abysmal. If he can work on that, and right now it doesn't look like he can, he's got the worst time of all 15 drivers who have set a lap so far. So, but on the hards as well, so it's not really representative. It needs to be said. But if he can work on that, if he can get his qualifying performance, his qualifying pace just that bit better, that he can qualify regularly and consistently inside the top 10, I think he's going to have a really good time at Racing Point. And Tenmuji, let me quickly see. He has a win in his career, but I couldn't find anything on him last season, unfortunately, even though he was in the Pinnacle tier. He wasn't there until the very end, and so he's not listed in the standings sheet, so you won't be able to find him there, unfortunately. But yeah, he's someone who I on track had a couple of run-ins with. I'm gonna say that, but he's always good for like a result here and there, like a really good, like a top 5 or something. But his issue has been the consistency, and I'm interested to see how much he's going to be able to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, from my own experience racing him as well, he does seem to be a bit more. So, I mean, he's clearly proven himself worthy of a seat. So we'll see if he can keep the consistency up this season. And yeah, Racing Point certainly going to be an interesting team to watch this season. Next team down, Alfa Romeo. We've got Iceman and we got Sipi. I'm hoping I'm saying that one right.
I think it's Sipi.
Sipi, yeah. Well, I see the Y in there. I get confused, but yeah, Sipi. We'll go with Sipi then. And so, yeah, a decent looking team as well. A promoted driver, of course, an Iceman from the podium tier, and then a brand new driver in Sipi.
Yeah, not just any promoted driver from the podium tier. We're talking the only reigning champion on this grid, as he won the podium tier last season. And yeah, in quite dominating fashion. We're talking 140 points difference between him and second place Easty Mats. 6 wins, 14 podiums in 21 races for Iceman. I mean, this is how you spell dominance right there. Obviously, no surprise that he is one of the favorites for the season, named by many, not just by some, by many, as one of the favorites. And yeah, I would not be surprised if we see him plenty of times on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, it'll be certainly very interesting to see that, and then of course that'll help with a new driver alongside. Could be quite an interesting lineup because we don't really know anything about Sipi.
Yeah, I gotta say, I like these combinations where you have both a rather experienced driver and a very good driver that we know of. Even a favorite in Dane Star for Red Bull, Janul for Toro Rosso, Iceman for Alfa Romeo, and pair those three with 3 drivers who are new to one hub. I just like that. It gives us a little bit of uncertainty. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. Each one of these 3 teams, plus Ferrari, have the chance of being the team champion at the end of the season. But all of those 3 drivers are completely uncertainties, and we don't know how well they're going to do. We don't know what kind of a performance they're going to be able to put in. But yeah, this all remains to be seen, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. So next team down, it is the team of the Cams.
It's my favorite team because of the names.
Yeah, it's Cam and Cam. One Cam, obviously we know as Cam came on from last season. You will all know him. Lovely guy. Can't wait to see how he gets on. And seeing he's the only guy tonight in the Haas, because Cam, the other one, you can see he keeps trying to rejoin.
He's trying to get into this, but yeah, it's not working for him, unfortunately. But yeah, Cam and Cam, NZI Cam. We're gonna have to differentiate between the two somehow. Yeah. We could go with British Cam and American Cam. American Cam being the one with K, British the one with C. But it's quite difficult.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
But yeah, British Cam was in the Pinnacle tier last season as well, only for a couple races. And fortunately, we don't have any stats on that. I was trying to get them before the race, but I wasn't able to. But for American Cam, obviously, we do have all the stats because we saw him last season. 3 podiums, 130 points. That's about it. No wins, but just generally, I would say a decent performance from him. He was the best non-race premium finisher in the championship. So there's that. And in the Toro Rosso as well, 130 points for a driver in a Toro Rosso, 3 podiums. You know, for that team, that's pretty good. And so him now being in the Haas, yeah, midfield team, you know, it's that kind of team where you go, okay, yeah, that's gonna work out. Probably he's gonna give some more decent results, and That's going to be what is expected from him, and he's going to fulfill those expectations. Can he overcome them? Can he surpass them? I don't know.
I guess time will tell with that one, but you know what? The next team, the last team, Williams, I've got to say, I'm extremely excited about these two as well. We've got Brett, who's come down from the Prestige tier, which is, in theory, 2 tiers above us before it ceased to exist. So he is right out there with some of the fastest drivers. You can see that. He's already nearly a quarter of a second clear at the top. And he, again, has got a brand new driver in Konzo. I've seen Konzo a few times. I've raced him. He's a decent, good driver. So this is another really strong-looking team.
Well, yes, and I mean, no, I don't want to say no, but kind of. I'm gonna put a little bit of brakes on that. Yes, Brett came down from the Prestige tier. However, he finished that season in P19 of 20. A mere 6 points, no wins, no podiums, no driver of the day. Being demoted effectively 2 tiers, as you mentioned. Yeah, I think is a good move, because last season really wasn't his. Did not get any good results, really. I mean, no finish inside the top 6. So yeah, for Brett, right now he's looking strong. Right now he's looking good. So maybe he can find his mojo again, being 2 tiers down, and then add Konzo to that again, as you mentioned, a new driver. I just like these pairings. What I don't like is just the good drivers just joining forces, trying to get the constructors. Shout out to Ferrari. I had to mention it. No, but to be honest, I really don't like that when you have 2 drivers just joining. I like this idea of, you know what, one number 1 driver, if you will, who's an absolute favorite, who's going to do really well, and then just gamble a little bit. Get that second driver. It's like Ferrari with Charles Leclerc. You know, they had Vettel, the experienced driver, the 4-time world champion, and then they bring in this guy who had, 1 season experience with Alfa Romeo back when it was Sauber. Or was it Sauber? That was already Alfa Romeo. I don't know.
It was Sauber Alfa Romeo. It's kind of both.
It was both. Okay, fair enough. But you know, 1 season of F1, and suddenly Ferrari is like, you know what, you drive for us now, which Ferrari has pretty much never done before. Usually, a driver had like at least 5 years of experience in F1 before coming to Ferrari. Schumacher had 6, if you remember, with Benetton. Oh no, he had 2. He had 2, and then he joined.
4.
He had 4. Sorry, yeah. I'm completely messing up right now. But yeah, he was with Jordan, and he was with Benetton, but 4 seasons. You know, it wasn't the 5 that I mentioned, but it's close. And it's just, I don't know. It's just this gamble that I really like, because it has worked out quite well for Ferrari if you look at the last season. So why not try it here as well?
Yeah, well, we'll see how that gets on, but we're into the last 2 minutes of qualifying now.
Yeah.
Carlsberg starting his lap. Look at that, all the fighting out of the pit lane. These guys are leaving it right to the last minute, some of them. The 2 Ferraris in there, they've got to be really careful to not get slowed down.
No, the timing's good on all of them right now. There's only 1 driver in the pits. That's Vitinho. He's not going to be able to make it. That is too late.
He might cut he might cut the second sector, but we'll see if he can manage that. But even at that, he does seem to be. I'll be tight with him. It'll be tight with him. But certainly his teammates on time. He set a purple first sector according to the game's map, which, as we found out a little bit last season, is often wrong. But hopefully it's right this time.
Yeah, I think if we both see it, it's probably right.
He's abandoned the lap.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. That sort of takes the wind out of his sails, doesn't it, unfortunately? Yeah,
and it needs to be said right now, the fastest time, it's really hard to see, I gotta say, but it is a 1:26.5 by Brett. And the drivers also told me what they think is going to be the pole time, and Brett is right up there. The number I heard the most was 126.5 to 126.6, and Brett has already passed that.
Ivan's been off. Sorry to interrupt, but Ivan has been well off the track. His qualifying is done. He's down all the way in 15th place. Not good for him.
Wow. Yeah, that is certainly not going to sit well with Mercedes management, I think, unless he can somehow recover this in the race, which, tough thing to do, but oh my god, look at that right side front wing, yeah.
Iceman's been off
severe.
Too. That was a big contender gone. His teammates coming around.
He is in P4 right now, so he's still in a decent starting position as of now. Make that, oh no, still P4 with his teammate now joining him in P5, Sippy, in his first one-hub race, doing a really good job so far in qualifying.
No improvement from Brett on his lap there. Danestar is up as he heads around the final corner. Crimson has qualified last, but will Danestar go up to P1? Nah, not quite. P2, but a 10th off pole, not too far away. Next up, I think we've got Cam into the final corner. In his Haas, up by half a second. That won't get him up any positions at the moment. He's got to find a little bit more on this run down to the main start-finish straight. Where will Cam go?
Yeah, I'm looking at Janel right now. Janel runs wide out of turn 13 there. Oh my, that was really, really close. Because another car in front of him also ran wide, and they almost collided. A lot of drivers there running wide. I don't know if that's legal or not, but it seems to be, actually. Because he continues his lap, and
he's given up on it, I think.
Yeah. Alright, that remains P3 for him as more and more drivers come in. Lukey, Chris coming across the line remains in P8. Harry P10, and that means Ivan and King J. He will be the last one across the line. Will he improve? No. P18 for him, and that is our first grid of this season set.
Good stuff then from all these guys. That was pretty close there in the end. And yeah, Brett has gone pole position now. You can see the way the gap is. We'll calculate that probably in a moment. But it's Brett on pole from Danestar, Janel, Iceman, Sippy. Look at all these new names up here. It's so weird. Cosbury, Lukey, the first familiar name up there. And then we've got Chris, Konzo, Harry, TB, Sam, Vitinho, Clyde, Cam, Scorpion, Ivan, 1 second separating the top 17, and then Jory and Crimson, the two guys that couldn't really get any laps together, and hopefully we'll have British Cam there in the full race. We've just got to mention as well all the drivers that are racing premium this season, because the vast majority of the grid actually are. They must have all saw the pay to win aspect of last season, even though they're all paying to a certain extent, but still, we've got Danestar, Lukey, Chris, Ivan, Scorpion, Sam, Crimson, Clyde, Jory, Sippy, British Cam and Brett. All them drivers are on race premium, and they're all fighting to win a race stand from our sponsor Next Level Racing. It's huge thank you to them, back again for season 15, and we're very happy to have you on board. I'm hoping all the drivers are looking forward to winning one of your stands.
Yeah, and for more information, nextlevelracing.com is their website, so if you want to go there, they have like wheel stands, they have seats, they have all crazy stuff for sim racers, and even like they have like proper flight simulators as well, which just insane. But yeah, that is on offer there for the champions, and with a 10 race season, I gotta say, I mean, every win counts, every point counts, because once you make a mistake, that's a 10th of your season already down the drain, and there's not that much room for error. So Brett, with pole position here, putting himself in a really good spot for this race. But with that turn 1 braking zone, the question is he gonna be the first casualty, or is he gonna come through that nicely? First place on this track, and I think the only other being Monza, which isn't on the calendar. It's not where I wanted to be honest, because the danger's just so big that someone just misjudges it and punts you off.
Yeah, well, there's something I've got to be wary of, but I mean, if you get to the line okay, you can take a pretty wide entry into turn 1 if you need to. I think most people would do that anyway, just to be safe, but yeah, I'd hope these guys wouldn't be too dangerous. but we should probably explain why there's so many people out here standing on the soft compound tires. We'll probably go more in depth with this, but we have brought back the 2-stop rule. It was previously used in Season 13, and it was very successful there, where basically you have to make 2 stops in the race, and yeah, it helps us to shake it up a little bit, and it means you don't have to worry about qualifying on the mediums when it's a soft track and you can't do proper qualifying. We'll get proper qualifying every week, and we'll get more varied strategies as well. Safety cars, probably much easier to use those as well for your strategy. And yeah, because I mean, if we get a safety car at 1, people could theoretically do their 2 stops straight then. I don't know if the tires would get to the end, not very likely not, but it's a possibility they could do that. And so it opens up strategy options for these guys, and it'd be very interesting to see how they all decide to use this rule.
Yeah, I've talked to some drivers about their strategy as well, and looking at the medium starters there in the back, Vitinho, Cam, Ivan, King J, and Crimson. Yeah, they're going to be on some interesting strategies, I think. But the question really for most of these drivers comes down to, I mean, the hard tire will not be used here by pretty much anyone unless they run into some kind of issue. You know, regarding, let's say, they get damage on the first lap, and even then, not sure that they're going to use the hard tire. But it's really more about how often are they going to use the softs and how often are they going to use the mediums. Two stints on the softs, 1 on the medium, or 2 on the mediums, 1 on the softs. And some drivers are going to go this way, others are going to go that way, but we're going to see which way they're going to go.
So we've got 20 drivers on the grid. We've got the first round of Season 15's Precision Tier about to get underway when those 5 lights go out. And we are away in Bahrain. Looks like a pretty good start from Daystar. Can he get a good run towards turn 1? What about Janel as well? Plenty moving about in the back as well. Where's Janel going to go? He looked like he had the best start. Bit of contact.
Red Bull off! Red Bull off!
He's going to come back across. He's ghosted though. He's alright.
He's ghosted. Thankfully ghosted.
It's side by side. There's contact there with Britt. And look at Janel as well. And everyone coming through. Lucas had a fantastic start all the way up to P4
Virtual
already.
Safety car. Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car is deployed, deployed. There was more front wing flying off in the back. I think there's been a collision up there as
well. Sorry to interrupt there, but Lukey's just had a collision with Brett, and so they could have penalties there. Certainly Lukey does, and the front wing damage as well.
Yeah, Lukey and Cosberry are driving side by side right now.
I was just going to mention this as well. How did on earth did Danestar get 3 seconds, nearly 4 seconds clear on that? Was he just maybe putting his delta up a little bit? That does seem a little bit dodgy, but he's now getting that gap back down. We've got to mention, you're seeing all these 5-second penalties and all that coming up. There is a brand new system in for this season as well, the penalty points. As we go green again, let's get a good start from Carlsbury. If you get 8 penalty points in the season, you get disqualified from the season as far as I'm aware. And every 5-second penalty is half a point. And we can go through that maybe if we get a safety car later on. But they've got to be careful in these situations. And yeah, it looks like Brett has caught that gap back up again. He's right on the back of Danestar. And surely Lucas going to have to pit. Look at this time he's losing already. And you can see why. The front wing on the left-hand side absolutely shattered.
Yeah, he's got 2 options. Either try to stay out there. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to spin when he
tries
comes back.
Rejoin. That was really dangerous there. Almost spun that around, but yeah, Lukey stays out. Honestly, I think is the right call here, because you would lose more time by pitting now, even though we have 4 drivers pitting now. Konzo, Scorpion, Harry, and Tenmuji all in the pits, changing their front wings, I would assume.
It must be.
Yep, looked through all 4 it's changed there. Front wings 3 on the mediums, Konzo, Harry, and Temuji, and Scorpion
there goes
on
Carlsbury.
To the hards.
Sorry to interrupt there, Carlsbury's just gone straight past, and there goes Chris as well. And I've got to say, it's Lukey and Janel. They've both got front wing damage. That's why we saw Janel going so far off the track. This has let the top 2 already get so far clear, and you can see this. We'll get yet another train. It's bad enough when there's 1 damaged car. It's even worse when you've got 2 and they're about to start fighting as well. But look at Brett. He is staying well within that 1 second. When Darius gets enabled on the next lap, he should be looking pretty good. But look at this,
both of them up there.
Janel's really driving so erratically. He's got to pit. He's not quick enough. He's having to extend track limits. He'll be getting warnings every time he does this. He's already had a 5-second penalty, I think, for it. They've got to be really careful here. But we'll see. Will these two pit? Because look at that. Luki's in Narnia now as well. And he's not coming back on for ages. But no, those two are staying out. And they are losing so much time. And they're about to start fighting now as well. You can see the two Alfa Romeos as well. This could get messy. The turn one is Janel on the outside. Both of these cars are going to understeer.
TB shoots up the inside of Sippy.
Oh, they have hit.
Yeah.
They did hit.
But
it was going to happen.
They're still side by side.
Yeah, but Iceman as well. Iceman's going to put himself in there. He's going to have more grip than both of them. And this is why this is going to get messy. This is why I think they should have pitted, because they're going to keep falling down like this. And they're going to slow each other down more and more and more. Because what have they actually gained by fighting the inevitable right now? They've gained nothing. And it's just costing everyone else.
Luki trying to overtake here into turn 8.
Yeah, he's just understeered into him. And he's hit him
and he touches Iceman into the wall.
It's just not good driving. It just isn't good driving. They should be pitting right now. It's absolutely ruining races.
At this point, the stewards are going to look at potentially penalising Luki for that one after the race. Severe front wing damage to one of the favourites here with Nexus Iceman. Left side of the front wing's almost completely gone. Not just the end plate, there's parts of the actual wing missing, and yeah, he's gonna have to pit for sure. And yeah, for Luki, this is really questionable. If we had the black flag with an orange circle, it would be shown to Luki right now to get into the pits. And he's not pitting. No, he does not come in.
He's being swamped. He's
Nexus
now down to P9.
Iceman will.
Look at Ivan, actually. He might get 2 for 1 here. He's had a fantastic run, obviously, with the DRS. He's got by 1 in Luki, and he hits the back of Sippy, but there's no damage there, so he's alright. And look at Brett, right on the back of Danestar, using that DRS, the second zone of the lap. Well, technically the first. I mean, the one on the main straight, you can sort of count that as the first of the last if you please, but certainly he's used to get nice and close. And yeah, still nearly 3 seconds clear of the nearest car, which is Carlsbury, who will look behind and see that he's got Chris right in his slipstream as well.
Oh, Janu still struggling on the exit of turn 8, almost lost the back end there, sliding around like crazy. And I don't think you can attribute all that to the front wing, because usually when you lose part of your front wing, you get understeer. You don't get oversteer, you get understeer. But Jano's oversteering like crazy, especially power oversteering. That might be more due to, I don't know, maybe the setup or something. And one key to this track is getting turn 12 right. And Jano and TB just went through that. Because turn 12 is a really tricky one. It can easily get your car to oversteer and spin, because you lose a lot of grip as you're going over a little bit of a crest there. So with a car that seems to oversteer already, as Janu seems to do, turn 12 is going to be even more of a challenge for him. Here goes TB past Janu. Luki finally in the pits now. Janu still stays out there, but clean overtake from the Mercedes of TB, and the next Mercedes is looking to make that 2 overtakes by Mercedes on Janu.
Yeah, he should catch up quite soon. Ivan, just on him, he is the highest driver on the mediums at the moment. More than half the field are on them now. In fact, there's only, I think, 6 left on the softs. And yeah, all these incidents are going to be benefiting. Or, sorry, 7, yeah. I can't count. But, yeah.
It's alright.
But certainly all the incidents early on with all the front wing damage being done, the fact that there's still one driver ahead of him, as you say, Jano, who's got the damage. I mean, he'll be on soft, presumably, from here on out when he makes his pit stops. And so he's going to welcome all these accidents at the front, because it's helping him out fantastically right now, because he just kept his nose clean, he's made the overtakes when he's had to, and he is doing his job.
Well, it needs to be said that we don't know whether Ivan or Vitinho or Cam or any of the medium runners are going to be on soft as soon as they pit. As I mentioned before, some drivers are opting for 2 medium stints and a soft stint, so it might be that we do see these runners go for medium, soft, medium, or maybe even medium, soft. Cosbury in the pits That is going to be a 2 medium stint coming up for him. Coming that early now on the softs. Hold on. Cosbury goes back onto the soft. Oh, wow. That is dangerous. Is he going soft, hard? That would be surprising.
Nah, soft, medium would be fine, I think. You can take softs nearly as long as you can take mediums. I think he's okay.
But he comes in at the end of lap 5. He has 24 laps to do. He would have to do 10 on the softs, 14 on the mediums. That's going to be tough.
He could be trying to force some undercutting, potentially. I think he knows what he's doing. You'd hope he does anyway with the strategy. I'm sure he's thought about it.
But
maybe he knows something we don't. But
you look at Sam and Janu, they go onto the mediums, and I think that's the right call, and they're going to go onto the mediums as well, come possibly lap 16 to 18 is when we can expect Sam and Janu in again. The other soft runs, if you want to make soft, medium work, then yes, lap 5 to 7 is your pit window. If you want to make soft, medium, soft work, or soft, medium, in Cosbury's case, you're looking more of a pit window lap 8 to 10, and he came in at the end of lap 5. If it was lap 7, I would not say a thing. It would be a little bit close, but certainly manageable. But lap 5 is so early.
I don't know if you saw what Brett just did there, but he's absolutely been mugged off there. He went wide at the final corner, and then Danestar, in his defence, on the way out of the final corner, went towards the pit lane. And Brett is sliding around loads now. I wonder if he did consider pitting, because he went off the throttle, Brett. He considered pitting and then decided not to. Maybe he thought Danestar was or whatever, but he lost a good 4/10. Look at him. He cannot control that car. He's sliding about like mad. You'd worry from through corners like this, Brett, whether he'll actually make it through, because he's struggling quite a lot. I think he maybe should have pitted if he was thinking about it there, because he would have got the undercut.
Meanwhile, speaking of pit lane and pitting, both Chris and TB were in. They were both at P3 and P4 at the time, and have dropped down to P9 and P10. Started on the softs, then now on the mediums, and again, I expect them to switch onto another set of mediums for their second stop later on.
Yeah. It does seem to be a way around it, so it looks like Carl's be the only one trying something different at the moment, as Cam harries the back of Patino, and it's become a freeway fight. Actually, Crimson has arrived on the scene from last on the grid, it has to be said. He's having not a bad day. Well, we say last qualifier, because Cam, well, he didn't make it anyway, and he's last by about 30 seconds. He was in the wall earlier. He had no front wing on his right hand side, so he's fallen down. But yeah, certainly Crimson already put himself in shape for a pretty good result at the moment, which is good to see. As the top two pit together, that is going to annoy Brett, I think. I think he considered pitting on the end of the last lap, but didn't, and he would have got the undercut. And they are both going to go for different tyres by the looks of it. It's Danestar on the softs and Brett on the mediums, and he also got held a little bit by Danestar's car coming through. Not the best sequence of laps there. What about Carlsbury then? He got the undercut on both of these guys. Will he jump any of them? He will jump Brett. He's up into P2 then, net P2. And Brett nearly collides with him on the exit, but just misses him. So Brett really has lost out on all this.
Yes and no. He has lost out for the moment, but he's on the mediums, so he will have a really... if he goes for another set of softs, which, looking at Dane being on the softs, and that's exactly what I mentioned with Cosbury. Dane is going soft, medium, and pitted lap 7. A little bit tricky, but certainly possible. Cosbury came in lap 5, and that's too early. That was my whole contention. You can make soft, medium work, but I don't think you can make it work if you come in lap 5. Now for Brett, the question is which set of tyres he going to choose for his final stint, because now that he has both soft and medium out of the way, we don't know what he's going to choose. He might not even know yet what he's going to choose. It might all depend on the situation. If there's a safety car, you know, that could influence the decision. If there's no safety car, that can influence the decision. So, it's really... he's putting himself in the best situation, because Danestar, he's gonna have to go on to the mediums at some point. That we know. He went soft to soft so far. He's tied to those mediums. Brett, flexible as can be, and that's his big chance right here, right now.
Cam's done it again. He's just spun down the hill, I think turn 7. He's done that 2 or 3 times in this race already, really struggling out there, must have a bad setup or something. But I'm just wondering, say with Danestar, how far is he going to be able to pull away? Because he's now got 2 cars between himself and Brett. That could also help decide it, because now Danestar's got over 5 seconds of free air ahead of him. And looks like Carlsberg and Jory are fighting,
Oh, shoots down the inside. Well done. Yeah, when you have better tyres like this, 3-lap-old softs to 8-lap-old mediums.
That's a risky one, though. That's a risky one. His alternator work, Brett. Really good, decisive overtaking there. That is clinical.
Wow. I mean, you don't really see turn 10 as much of an overtaking opportunity, really, around this track. But Brett had absolutely zero chill right there. Goes for the move, makes it sick. Absolutely well done to Brett. I think that's the kind of driving you only learn in the Prestige tier, really. Because, wow, it was kind of risky, but hey, if you make it work, fantastic stuff.
Well, I guess he knows he can't lose out too much to Danestar because it's already 2 seconds. Maybe Carlsberg, he'll get by him on this lap, I reckon, because he's got the good run on DRS, but he's got to be staying close, surely, to Danestar. He's got to make this quick and easy, and that's exactly what he's not going to get. They're touching all the way through turn 1 there, and he's not going to get around to turn 4 as well. He's at a slide, he's got a penalty. Will he have a chance? It'll be the outside if he goes for it. I think he can't get on the inside. He'll try it, but I don't think that's going to work. And it isn't.
Yeah. He remains behind the Renault for now. Renault right now looking pretty good with Vitinho in P2. Granted, hasn't made his either one of his stops yet. And Carlsberg in P6, net P2 if we go by who has pitted already. So Renault looking pretty good here right now.
Yeah, Renault were looking quite good there. I looked back at Sippy there. He's gone straight into the back of TV. After his earlier pit stop, so he's pretty much falling out of it now. He's going to have to pit with that again, so that's sort of one contender for later, maybe gone, unfortunately for him. And I seen the rather unfortunate one, he just hit on the exit, and that's what I was worried it was going to happen between Brett and Carlsberg if Brett kept it on the inside. Luckily he sort of had the foresight to realise, okay, this isn't going to work, I'll sit back and wait. But now look at this, he's nearly 3 seconds behind. He's lost about a second on this lap to Danestar, who's closing pretty quickly, to be fair, on this freeway fight for second, although that pit lane is being occupied now by Vitinho's Renault, so that'll be a 2-way fight for second now. That'll help him out a little bit there, Danestar. And well, that'll be interesting. That is really early for these mediums. That'll certainly be medium to soft at the end. That is a worry for Carlsberg.
Brett going way too deep and almost spinning on the re-entry there. Went way too deep into turn 1, and as quickly as he got the position from Carlsberg, he has to give it back again. Very, very unfortunate there for Brett. You say it's a bit early, lap 10, to come in from as a medium runner, as a medium starter. I would disagree. Lap 10 is when I have the pit window for the medium runners to open. Yes, he's the only one to do it this early, which gives you an indication as to his strategy. If you don't see that he went on to another set of mediums, so he's going to go medium, soft there. But I don't think that's too early. Lap 10 is when the pit window for medium runners opens, and I would say they have time until probably lap 12. Lap 11 is going to be when most of them come in, so expect, I would say 3 of the 4, even Crimson, Cam, and King J, expect 3 of those 4 to come in now.
You see, from my personal experience, it would be lap 12 to 14. That's where I put my own window, but I guess these guys are saying differently. Brett, by the way, has just got by Carlsberg in the final corner, but he's had a big slide, and this is going to open a door for Carlsberg maybe to come back. Neither of them are using the DRS. They must both not have it. That's incredible, that. They must have been side by side right on the detection point. Will Carlsberg be decisive, or will he wait for the second dose of DRS? Well, the first one in this case, because no one got it last time. And only one person pitted there, Ivan. Only one.
Well, yeah, my bad. I meant 3 out of 4 are going to come next lap. Yeah. No, I expected more to come in, but they're going to come in lap 12 now. for another set, maybe for 2 sets of softs. Maybe this is what they're trying to do, medium, soft, soft, in which case lap 12, maybe even 13 is going to be the better call. So we see Ivan, he's not down at P12 after his pit stop. He went medium to medium, so he's going to have 2 sets of mediums and then 1 set of softs towards the end. So maybe lap 12, 13 is going to be medium, soft, soft runners with Crimson Cam and King J.
Well, like I say, from my experience, that 12 to 14 is around where you'd want the window to be. And I guess if you are going to go soft, it'll be right at the end of that window that they'll be thinking of that. Because, of course, later on in the race, you can maybe squeeze an extra lap out of a set of softs because you have less fuel, easier to drive it, etc. But we'll see what they do on this lap, because Cam especially is under a lot of pressure from Danestar. Will he just bail out of that, not lose too much time? Yeah. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Smart move, I think, from Cam here, to just not even try to fight it, because all that's going to happen is he's going to be held up by Dane, and making this quick call on the fly to switch on to the soft, and again give yourself that flexibility. I love to see that. Yeah, Cam, for his final sig, can now do whatever he wants. Same with King J. Medium to soft, he's free for his final sin to do whatever he wants to do.
I tell you what, this is working out extremely well though for Danestar. He's barely having to overtake any of these guys, and while that was all happening, I mean, he gains nearly 5 seconds on Brett. Brett's going to have a special final stint, unless we get a safety car to close this all up, because even though he'll be on the better tyres, presumably, I don't know, I just don't see him catching this much. Especially when, I mean, Danestar spent his whole time here in DRS and then just passed him when they pit. He's in luxury right now because he's getting to see that ARS as well all the time and still making the time up. It couldn't be a better scenario for him at the moment.
Well, but you have to remember, Danestar's on the softs now, Brett's on the mediums. Obviously, Dane is going to gain some time on Brett. I mean, come on. But those roles may reverse for the final stint. If Brett decides to go on to the softs and Dane has to go on the mediums, then Brett is going to suddenly make up time on Dane. The question is how much. Is it going to be enough? Crimson does stay out. He will come in lap 14. He's really taken those mediums for a long time, and that means that Crimson is going to go, unless there's a safety car, he's going to go medium, soft, soft.
Look at this.
Is he going to fight this?
Back. Yeah, he's going to come back. Outside.
That's going to hurt Dane. That's going to hurt Dane. Or can Dane keep the position round the outside?
You'd expect
Crimson
him to keep
tries it, but no. Gets the door shut on him by Danestar, who stays not only in the net lead, but now also the actual lead of the race.
And my reasoning for saying that Brett is going to need a better final stint is because he spent so much of this stint stuck behind other cars and not being able to get by, while Danestar was able to feed DRS. That's why I'm saying he gained so much. But then again, on this lap, he's finally had to have a difficult challenge, Danestar, and the gap has come down. Not much, but it has come down. And he needs more of that to happen when Danestar makes his next pit stop. It needs to be him in the free air this time, getting easy overtakes, and not Danestar.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that could very well happen after the second pit stops, considering how long some of these drivers go into the race. And Danestar especially is going to have to come in early. With 2 soft stints early on, he's going to have to be one of the earliest to pit other than Carsberry.
Well, he could be on this lap, couldn't he? Lap 15.
And here goes... Yeah, but he stays out, so...
That's what I'm saying, lap 15, he could pit then and do a 14-lap stint, just
lap
like Crimson
15,
did.
Yeah. Yeah, he could, but do you really want to do that? Carsberry does come in now. I gotta say, he has to go on the hards, really. The mediums are not going to be able to take 15 laps.
Well, they took 14 laps pretty easily for Crimson. I mean, he was able to fight away as Carsberry fixes his front wing in the pits there as well. Yeah. I mean, Crimson had no problems on those 14-lap all mediums. He was fighting away with Danestar, no problem. So they're
he was fighting. Hold on, Owen. He was fighting for one corner.
Exactly. Well, of course he's going to fall behind. But the fact is, he was able to still use the tyres and still be confident enough to fight. It's not like he was fighting the car all the time and sliding the bike. He was going for it. So the tyres are clearly fine for him. And so I'd imagine that with less fuel at the end, Carsberry, he'll be fine.
I don't know. We have Scorpion on the hards for some reason. Oh yeah, that was because of the lap 1 incident, I forgot. But yeah, everyone else, most medium runners, and then King J, Crimson, Cam, and Danestar still on the softs. Yeah, I expect Danestar not to come in this lap. Remember, he did 7 laps, although he did do 7 laps on the first stint. If he does 8 now, that would pretty much work quite well. Although I'd probably try to go for 9, but yeah, mathematically it makes more sense to come in now, doesn't it?
He's gonna stay.
No, he stays out, yeah. So he does go 9 laps on the softs.
Maybe he'll wait until...
Maybe his first... Hold up, maybe his first pit stop at the end of lap 7 was a reaction to Cosberry.
Could be. I would also maybe suggest that he might just be waiting until he's physically not quick enough to be still on the tyres, because he's still pulling away from Brett, so he's seems to still have something in the tyres. Maybe just keep as much life in as possible, and he's using it. He's gained 3 tenths in that first sector alone, so he is still quick. So why not wait until you start losing the grip to take full advantage, rather than pit while you've still got stuff to use? And then that also helps you on the new tyres as well, because you'll have 1 less lap on them.
True, but you don't want to go too late. Like, yes, it's all good for now, because what's the stint going to be if he comes in now? 13 lap stint on the mediums. Yeah, that's manageable easily, very easily. But you don't want to come in too late, like to a point where you only have a 10 lap medium stint. That would kind of that would lose you time in the grand scheme of things, and you could have finished the race faster, which, I mean, that's the first thing you're going to look at, is how fast can I finish this race. Your overall race time is the first thing you should look at least, and I'm pretty sure it's the first thing all these drivers look at. But here we go, Danestar does actually come in now, and I think that's the right timing for him here.
Brett as well at the same time.
Oh wow, Brett, yeah.
Oh dear.
That's Brett, soft, medium, medium. They're both going to use another set of the mediums. For Dane, the first one. For Brett, his second.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, Brett should have adjusted to what he was seeing from Danestar ahead. Although it might be that he says, look, so much time lost in this second stint, 5 seconds to Danestar. I'm just going to consolidate second place and get myself 18 points here. Yeah,
but he could have gone like 5 more laps.
Fair enough.
He could have gone 5 more laps. And look, there's been a crash back there. There's been a crash back there, I think. Luke's been in Narnia and there's a 4-way fight. What if this turns into a safety car and Brett's the cause of it? Because he's now, look at this, under pressure, Vitinho's passing him and they've hit each other.
Vitinho, very, very strong defense there on the inside. And he gets the position. And now, Crimson and Brett touching. Oh, Brett really did not time this well, and he pushes Crimson out of the way, and Lukey goes past, and Brett, I think, has, he has front wing damage.
Both sides.
Both sides. End plate's gone. Oh, it's all gone down the drain for Brett. And look, as much as I agree with the timing in general, his on-track timing was just awful. Coming back at the very worst time here. Really, really not well done.
What I was going to suggest is that, he could have gone another 5 laps on those tyres. He could have waited for maybe a safety car or anything. He could have picked any other time than that lap to pit. And he's come out and hit 2 or 3 cars as Cam retires from the race in the pit lane. That shouldn't cause a safety car. Gianno,
hopefully.
That would just ruin Brett's day even more, wouldn't it? But he's surely going to pit now. And, well, actually, this retired car is going to come out into the path of a lot of people, isn't it? Or is that Cam? That's the other Cam. Well, right. American Cam and British Cam came out of the same place.
American Cam is not in the pits right now.
Well, they were both in the same area, that's what I was saying. I couldn't tell which on the mini-map. But, yeah, the green flags again, but Brett has ruined his race. Pretty much. Yeah. Just not the best strategy call for him now.
And he just switched onto his old medium tires as well. Oh.
When it rains, it pours, huh? Just don't retire, because he could get a safety car and he could be back in it on a set of softs or something, but really, he's going to be probably in at the end of this lap as well, just to get his other mediums back. Oh dear, he'll be last.
I mean, he's 50 seconds down to the leader now, which is it's Chris, but he's also 39 seconds down to Danestar, who's the net leader. So yeah, I don't even know if a safety car would save him with 40 seconds down.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We've still got 11 laps to go at the end of this one. Danestar now on the back of Ivan, and also Cam up there too. I don't expect there's too many pit stops in this fight in particular. TB is pitted. We'll see how far he falls down, but Danestar, again, is going to be nice and careful with his moves. Don't make any silly mistakes. He knows he's pretty much on his own now for this race. Just get himself to the end, really. And yeah, he's got through pretty easy there in Ivan. No real fight put up. TB's going to come out probably just behind Janel, maybe ahead of Sippy. It's just... Oh, actually, no, he's ahead of Janel as well. Fair enough. So, I mean, that means Chris will be up there as well. I'm just wondering where Chris would be on the end, because he might well end up on softs, and he could have some sort of charge at the end. We'll see, really, but he's only a few more laps to do. If he can go 14-15, then he could put the softs on. He might well be planning that, because he would have pitted already, wouldn't he, if he was going to go into more mediums. He's done that many laps on them.
Chris, I would expect to come out right around where Carlsberry is right now, either a second ahead or a second behind, but somewhere in that region, as Cam, American Cam obviously, makes a huge mistake in turn 11 there.
Oh, that's going to be a crash. That's a crash. Harry's in the wall. I was watching those two. They were going side by side up the hill and through turn 4, and then they tried to go down the hill. Virtual safety car. Cam is... Or not Cam, sorry, Chris. He's not pitting. Oh.
No. Wow.
Pitting?
That's a missed opportunity right there. What's Cam going to do? 7 lap old softs? Yes, he goes in. Yeah, smart call there.
Luke, I'll be expecting to pit as well. I can't believe Chris didn't see the opportunity. He was 10 seconds clear.
Luke is definitely going to pit. He was supposed to pit anyway this lap, I think. But VSC is over now.
Scorpion drive-through penalty.
Yeah.
But look at this. Chris is 10.5 seconds clear. You only lose by 15 seconds if you pit under a virtual safety car. And he would have been on softs. Yeah. Oh my goodness. They may have fell off towards the end, but he could have well taken advantage there. And he didn't.
Yeah, that is a missed opportunity right there for Chris. And I am surprised as to why he did not go in there. And I'm going to ask him that after the race. But my goodness, yeah. But what could have been? I think this is... Just like in real life, another Ferrari strategy bubble job, maybe?
Certainly looks like it at the moment, unless he gets another virtual. He'll be wanting that. Janel is racing Cam super hard. He's just hit him. Now, if you're going to get a safety car, that'll be the place. But I'm pretty sure Cam, or not Cam, Scorpion, he spun off in the final corner after getting his drive-through and then speeds into the pit lane. Not going too well for him.
Tires, yep.
Yeah.
Third DNF of the race. But, I mean, we still have 17 runners, so overall, really good ratio that we have here.
Can I just say, actually, by the way, the Cam has been quite quiet, but there's still 4 people ahead of him yet to pit. Chris, one of them. He actually is on for an alright performance himself. I don't know where he started. He started all the way down in 15th.
Yeah, I could have told you that.
Yeah, he's...
I've got it all written down.
He is having a pretty decent old race at the moment, as Chris... I mean, he'll want to come out ahead of Carlsberry, right? That's sort of the goal. He should do that, I think. He might have to run to turn 1. Let's see. It'll be close, but I imagine he can probably cover this one off. Carlsberry, though, sets himself up for the run up the hill. This could get quite interesting in a moment. DRS.
Yeah, DRS slipstream.
Very good run.
Overtake mode.
Oh, inside.
Pushes it down the inside. Well done.
That's never going to work, though, because then he just gets caught back up. Why did he go inside? That doesn't work. Unless he can stick it up there again.
No.
But no, that was...
It can work if you park the bus on the apex. Then it can work. If you cover off the cutback, it can certainly work. But Carlsberg did not do that. Remains in P4. And Chris in P3.
I think Janel just overtook Cam as well. They were fighting away as they came out of the pit lane, but it looks like Janel now has won that fight for the time being. And they're both catching up to the back of TB. And this is effectively the fight for 4th place at the moment. Unless Dane, or hold on, Ivan's only pitted once, hasn't he? Yeah, he has only pitted once, so he's the only driver yet to make his 2nd pit stop.
Oh, I was on board with Cam.
I cut just on board as he stopped having that spin, yeah.
Yeah, you were also on Cam, huh?
Yeah, that was...
Yeah,
grim.
That is turn 12 right there. That is turn 12. If you even dare to look at that inside curb, it's gonna start to, your car is gonna start to oversteer, and you're gonna have to catch that somehow. And well done on Cam for actually catching that, because that was not easy. Turn 12 is a feisty one here, because you go over crest, you have a little bit of undulation in the tarmac that makes the car get really unstable, and so it's really easy to spin your car, especially as the race goes on, because A, the tires wear off, and B, the car gets lighter. So really easy to spin off there towards the end of the race, and again, Cam did a great job of catching that.
We've got a 4-way fight at the moment for P10, and Lukey has just got by Vitinho in that fight. And they were fighting quite hard up the hill. That's allowed the 2 behind to catch up, and I imagine Jory's trying everything he can to get by Akonzi. He was all over the road there. He was snaking about a lot, and he's been able to get by around the outside of turn 8. A very nice move indeed, up into P12. And yeah, he can now join that fight up ahead. I imagine Akonzi might well start falling backwards a little bit.
Yeah, that is to be expected. Especially on those old mediums there. But after the first lap incident that he was involved in, where he had to pit for a new front wing, yeah, how much can you salvage your race? And Konzo shows that, you know, it's possible, but it's tough.
Look at Jano, he is on the back of TB now, really getting nice and close, starting to put the pressure on the Mercedes driver. Misses the apex in turn 1. And that's just going to put that pressure on even more up the hill. Is there a chance for Jano to get by, or will he just bide his time? He's got fantastic straight line speed, but he will just back that one off. Cam falling outside the DRS there, not really quick enough, even on the better tyres, to stay with these 2. And you got Ivan and Sippy as well. Wonder if Ivan can maybe start catching up to this as well on those freshest tyres of anybody, and setting the fastest first sector of anybody as well. So he's absolutely flying out there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something right now. Cam, to me, looks really, really tasty there in P6. He's watching this fight between Janul and TB, who just made a mistake coming out of turn 10. And there goes Janul into P4. Wow. One mistake and boom, position's gone. Now, can Janul pull away? Again, I think Cam might be the best one in this trio, because he's on the best tires right now. If he can somehow get involved with these 2 and get past these 2 at P4 after starting from P15 would be a fantastic... I mean, it's already a fantastic result if he brings this P6 home, but P4 would be absolutely amazing.
I don't know, he hasn't had the pace in the last few laps. He's only catching because these 2 are getting close. The one I'd be looking at, like I say, is Ivan, because these guys are going to fight even more. And Ivan, I believe, is about to set a fast lap.
Oh, Janu goes deep, cut back from TB on Janu. They barely to almost touch. And this kind of fighting is what invites Cam into the mix.
And it's like I say, Cruci was putting Ivan up there. Cam is not going to pass him. He's still not caught up to them, even though they're passing like this much. Well, I'll keep the eye on Ivan now. I really do think he'll catch, but the laps are running out. Let's just hope these guys don't crash, though. It's a good wee fight, and they've just hit each other, so we'll just... Right, we'll calm it down.
Commentator's curse. Owen, stop it.
Also, there's a fight for P2 still going out there. Chris not able to pull away from Carlsbury. He's got less DRS as well, so using these new tyres, maybe not working too well, actually. But yeah, look at that, Cam. Yeah, maybe he should be saving the DRS a bit more, actually, in this, because he could take a lot of advantage being stuck in the DRS. If he can't pass without them fighting, at least stick in the DRS, save the ERS, and have something to fight with if Ivan arrives, you know?
Yeah, that is a smart call right there. But I think Cam is just waiting for his moment to arrive. He doesn't want to fight right now because it's a little bit early. Plus, it's also pretty hard to fight in a three-way battle when you're the third guy. Because the second guy will have DRS, so you won't be able to catch up on him. So your only way really past is if you slingshot past who is the first one at the beginning of the straight,
close.
or you wait for some kind of incident between these two, TB and Janul, as they get closer and closer. And look at Cam. Look at this. He's not even trying. He's like, no, I'm gonna wait my time. It's all good.
That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they really are trying to go side by side there, aren't they? That's not a good idea. Janul has a big slide. And TB.
There goes TB.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to tell you right now, Cam is just waiting for something to happen, and honestly, I think that's a smart bet.
Yeah, because this is getting very heated right now.
And I have to mention something with Brett getting the fastest lap of the race so far. I think we're going to have to mention our fastest lap rule here at One Hub. There is 1 point on offer for the fastest lap inside the top 10, and 1 point on offer for the fastest lap outside the top 10. So Brett would have that one outside the top 10. Let's see who would have that inside. Let me quickly get that up. That would be Cosberry. Yep, 129.7. So he's right now the fastest, has the fastest lap inside the top 10. So he would get an additional point, would be at 16.
Ivan is closing by 1 second a lap on these guys, but the bad news for him is that it feels like Janul is the quickest driver in this trio, and he's the one at the front of it now. And so it might put P4 out of sight, but maybe Ivan could be closing up by lap 28, you could possibly say. He needs more fighting now. He does need more fighting. Cam might be the one to deliver that, because TB is really low on that ARS now. I mean, Cam's not particularly high, but he's got enough to give it a proper go on a straight, where TB would start to sort of drop off at the end of a straight. And Janel's got 70-odd%, he's fine.
Yeah, expect Janel to pull away now. I would expect him to lose, to use a lot of ERS. Sorry for misspeaking there. To use a lot of ERS on the straight to just pull away. TB has to manage, has to get by. With Cam using his ERS as usual, I would say.
Yeah. By the way, Carlsbury, he's just got a penalty, but he's still on the back of Chris. That could get interesting towards the end. They've just got to try and keep that podium, really.
Let me check the penalties for them. So Danestar has not even a single warning. Chris has a warning. Cosberry just got himself that 3-second penalty, which isn't going to be all too consequential in the end, because he's got a way bigger gap to Janul. And so the top 3 seem to remain that way. Let me quickly see if Chris has... Oh no, Chris has 2 warnings, sorry. I thought he had 1, but no, the incident on lap 1 was another track limits warning. So he's on 2. He cannot afford a single warning from this point on.
Can I just point this out? Both Williams have been off at completely separate parts of the track at pretty much the exact same time. Really odd, that. And what a disappointment this is going to be for them. They're both going to be right at the back just fighting for the fastest lap.
Yeah, it is a shame, but at the same time, you can really just take this race as a, well, it happened. It's not great, but it happened. Meanwhile, I have to interrupt myself here. Cam getting really close to TB, trying to move into turn 11. Oh, TB shuts the corner. Wow, he slams the door shut right there. Cam was partially alongside, and TB just says nope.
Ivan nearly in DRS. He's nearly there. Just a bit more side-by-side stuff, and he could be there.
Why is Cam not going into the slipstream there of TB? Why is he not remaining in the slipstream? Anyway, this is the time here. ERS on to overtake. TB trying to break the toe here. I don't think that's going to work. And here we go. He's too far away, isn't he? Is he going to send it?
Oh, he's going to send it.
He is good. No, he's not going to send it. Okay, he's not going to send it. And good, honestly, good reaction from TB as well, leaving just a little bit of space on the inside there. Maybe now he has. He doesn't use overtake mode. He doesn't use overtake. Cam's still not there. One more. He has one more lap. He has this lap and then one more. And he's going to run out of time if he doesn't do this lap. I mean, last lap's going to be tricky. Possible, but tricky.
It's within 1 second now as well, so he's really got to get a move on. If he gets this wrong, he'll be in trouble. And look at this, Carlsbury and Chris, this is as close as ever, and the ERS difference is night and day right now. Carlsbury has surely got to get by. Has to.
Yeah, meanwhile, most drivers are on 1 or 2 warnings. 2 warnings for TB. Janel, Cam, Ivan, all on 1 warning. Sippy is on 2 warnings. Sam, let's go through the top 10. Sam, no warnings, and Lukey in the final place.
Wow.
Yeah, has a penalty.
Okay, that is interesting. Sorry to interrupt there, but Chris has decided, you know what, I'm gonna not fight this. I'm gonna let you through.
Yeah, and you know why? Chris has no penalties. Carlsbury has 1.
What if he makes a mistake now, though? I don't understand it. If he's going for DRS, that doesn't make much sense either. That is not smart at all. He's on these old tyres. What if he blow up? He's in really big trouble if he messes it up. And Cam's hit TB! And that's not good news for either of them, really. And Ivan, luckily for those two, had to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's all gone to shambles here, really. But I gotta disagree with you on that. I think Chris is making the right call here by letting Carlsbury by. Just don't fight it or stay behind. Don't make a mistake. I mean, that Chris has in his own hands, whether he makes a mistake or not. And he's got 2 warnings in 28 laps. I mean, it's a good bet to say he's not going to get a 3rd in the 29th. So, yeah, I think it's a smart call here from Chris. Take that secure 2nd place. Then Carlsbury goes off. He drifts off and Chris gets 2nd place back on track. Turn 11 catches him out. Not turn 12 this time, but a little bit earlier, turn 11. And then, well, Chris does get 2nd place on track after all.
Here comes Danestar up to the line. It is the season opener for many argue the championship favourites. And it is the perfect start to season 15 for him. Brett, well, he got the fastest lap in the end. What more could it have been for him? Of course, fast lap outside the top 10. And there, Chris P2, Carlsbury P3, Janel P4, TB 5th, Cam 6th, Ivan 7th. That fight came to nothing, unfortunately, in the end. Sippy in 8th, Sam 9th, and Lukey in 10th. And Vitinho now in 10th because of the 5-second time penalty. Let me just check it. I know you've checked the fastest laps, but we'll just quickly give it another check now. Inside the top 10, is it still Carlsbury with the fastest? Yes, I think it is. So, yeah, we've got our fastest laps sorted. There's Jory, but he's dead on the line. Look at that, P11. Lukey 12th, Iceman 13th, Crimson Blue 14th, Konzo, he's not going to get a fastest lap. Klein, he might be trying again. He didn't have a good lap last time round. I'm sure he's trying for it. Could be the last thing he does good in this race. Look at that, exceeding those track limits. He's given it everything. Will he get the fastest lap? No. Right then. So, we've got to pick a driver today here. Right, we're not going to argue about this. We've got to pick one each.
Yeah, you go first. I know my 2. If you pick one of them, I'll pick the other. I know my 2 picks.
Right. Well,
I always have a backup.
Let me pick. Right.
Okay.
I've got to say, Danestar, he controlled that from start to finish. He had the best strategy out there, I think. He made that work perfectly. And honestly, that's the perfect start for a season. So I'd put him straight up, driver today for round 1. We're not going to give him the white fountain treatment. He never got one for ages. He's straight up there, day 1. You've got to put him up there.
You've learned from last season. Well done. Yeah, White Fountain was mistreated for so long, not getting driver of the day. It was a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you picked Danestar?
Yep.
I picked Cam. From P15 all the way up to P6, horrible qualifying, gets it up there, gets himself good 8 points. I think a really, really good race from him. I like when drivers fly under the radar for a long time and then all of a sudden, oh, P6, hey, well done. I kind of like that. You know, I like that a little bit more than the guy who's always in like the top 5, or you know, I like that story a bit more. So, gotta say, Cam from 15th to 6th, really good recovery drive right there.
Got to give an honourable mention to Ivan as well, from P17 in the Walling qualifying up to P7 as well. Really good performances from quite a lot, I'd say. I mean, TB as well, up to 5th from 11th. Good to see good performances from quite a lot of these guys.
Yeah, also some disappointing performances, I would say. 3 drivers who I think could be all considered favourites in Brett, Iceman and Lukey, all finishing well outside the top 10. 12 for Lukey, 13 Iceman, and 17th and last of the finishers for Brett.
You get 1 solitary point for fastest lap. That's all he's going to get from today. I got to say as well, Chris, I'm sure he'll look back at it himself and think the same thing, but he should have pitted under the virtual safety car. He had the pit lane right there, and he was only about 10 seconds off the win. He would have won that race today.
That's why I didn't. I was thinking about picking Chris for driver of the day, but I didn't do it because of that reason right there.
Yeah.
That strategy call, that blown call, really, is what kept me from picking him, because he could have won that race, and you can't be driver of the day if you could have won the race but didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, starting from P8 and finishing second, I mean, still well done, but. Sorry, I just can't.
Well, that is it then. That has been your Precision Tier Bahrain Grand Prix, round 1 of the season. It's been a fantastic race. I've very much enjoyed that one. And there's plenty of drivers who are going to be coming to next week's race with a lot to prove. And yeah, we should probably end this one quite quickly. We always rambled at the end of last season, but we have got a Pinnacle Tier race going on right now. The top tier for this season, of course, Prestige, has been rightfully killed off. And yeah. We'll let you leave. Watch that one.
And your commentators for that are going to be Kieran McGinley and Jamie Metcalf, who are standing in for Alex Lilliat, who unfortunately can't make it tonight, as he is. I think he is still at work.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. But hey, Kieran McGinley, Jamie Metcalf. I mean, that's a commentator pairing that is worth listening to as well.
Absolutely. So we will let you go and listen to them. Thank you all for watching. We were having about 30 viewers consistently for that, so I hope you all enjoyed that. And yeah, we'll be back next week. And Austin should hopefully be here if his internet doesn't decide to break again. We're lucky it got working today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Luckily, my internet's okay, just him about the PlayStation. I should get a wee cage for it, but anyway. Ah well. Hopefully PS5 hasn't got the same issue. But we'll leave you now. Off to Pinnacle you go, and we will see you next week. Safe travels, everybody.